You have returned. You must have a brave soul. Allow me to rip it out of you with Audio Stories 3 Terrifying Tales. Without further ado, let us begin. It's been 6 days without food, 3 without water. The pool of blood drying to my face, so thick and stiffening, my left eye shut by hardened liquid. Unable to move, my legs and my arms have been stretched out whilst I'm laying on my stomach, chained to metal spikes that have been hammered into the concrete floor of the basement. The face staring across from me was that of an elderly, anorexic man, completely naked, bald head, cracked and leaking brain and blood. He was my captor. He hid in the backseat of my car until I got off from work. I saw him just as a syringe plunged into my neck. Now, however, my kidnapper was only a corpse. In a stroke of luck or divine intervention, my life had been spared. He was slowly coming down the stairs, brandishing a box cutter, staring through big red eyes, tears streaming down his face. The words that flowed from his mouth. How would you like to die? Should I open your throat? I wanted nothing more than to live to see my parents again, my annoying little brother pulling desperately at my restraints as I watched in horror as he descended towards me. But before I could get down the stairs, the board he was standing on snapped, and the man came crashing down to the floor. His head hit the unforgiving ground with a sickening thud, followed by immediate wet spatter as his head burst like a pimple. I had survived, and just as soon as help arrives, I'll be in my cozy home with my family. I just can't wait to... The silence was broken by a quiet, scratching sound. My blood froze. A small rat appeared and scurried up onto the chest of the man's corpse. It sniffed and moved towards his neck and without hesitation began biting the flesh from his throat. The gag around my mouth wouldn't permit me to scream. I shut my other eye tightly and tried to think of anything other than what I am just seeing, until I heard the scratching noise grow louder. I felt something against my leg, tearing at my jeans, as I desperately tried to shake it away. I felt one on my back. I opened my eyes. To my terror, the man was covered in rats, furiously devouring him. They piled on me, gnawing away at my clothes, frenzied and determined. My eyes fell upon the box cutter lying next to the man. I stared longing at it, lusting at the thought of burying the blade in my neck. Anything but this, I thought, as they began devouring my face. The words of the man echoed in my mind. How would you like to die? And now I had an answer. How I would like to die. Faster. Somebody lives under my floor. It sounds bizarre, insane even, but I'm telling the truth. I can hear her clawing the floorboards, how she scratches with them long fingernails, hits them loudly with her fists. She's looking for one that would come loose. Somebody lives under my floor, and she wants to get out. I can hear her at night moaning, horrible wailing that washes away my sleep and sends shivers down my spine. In the darkness I can see her fingers shimmering with sweat and blood, pushing through the cracks in the floor like wet worms. They leave only blood stains in the morning. Somebody lives under my floor, so I made a hole. I plucked an old nag, looked carefully inside and waited. First second, first minute, first hour passes. Suddenly I see it, a bloodshot eye, yellow iris. It looks at me with curiosity. I'm petrified, my muscles, like marble, won't let me move, not even an inch. We look at each other for a moment. It feels like eternity. Somebody lives under my floor, but I won't let her. I took the screwdriver and stabbed at the evil eye. Dark red blood splattered the floorboards. A horrible shriek fills the apartment. The tools stuck in a miserable dance. The woman tries to retreat, to hide from the pain deeper under the floor. She can't. The tool just rips through delicate tissue the longer she struggles, leaving a bloodied mess. Suddenly, silence. The screwdriver stands motionless. Somebody lives under my floor, but something isn't right. I sit in the corner, drenched in sweat. In front of me, a bloody scene. Like a lonely tree, the tool sticks out ominously on the horizon. I can hear them. They're mourning, growling. Oh, they furiously scratch on the floorboards. I can see them pushing through the cracks in the floor. The forest of fingers transform the apartment into an angry sea. They look for the culprit. Somebody lived under my floorboards, and she wasn't alone. In the future, time travel is a great way to get out of being caught if you're a serial killer. The past is so vast that the law can't follow you, and even though the trips are one way, the information you gather before your jump through time can make life a lot easier. Winning lottery numbers will leave you with a lot of resources to plan your next murder. Understandably, you're probably skeptical of my story. Time travel is, after all, impossible in the present day. Don't worry, I knew you would ask for proof, and I've been preparing to give it to you. You'll probably expect me to tell you the date coronavirus gets cured, or whether Biden beats Trump in 2021 after the election gets postponed, right? What would that prove now, though? It'd take months before you knew for sure whether what I told you was right. And even then, you probably just say it was a lucky guess. I could always put you on the path of those who travel back before me. Some of their names you would definitely recognize. Several serial killers have done this a few times, were careless enough to leave clues that they knew more about events in the world than they really should have. Carelessness like that could cause searches for us. Those of us are still hidden. And the last thing I want is to fuel interest in our macabre little scientific secret by telling you where to look for the evidence. So it'll have to be something more personal. Telling you a secret from your past that only you know will probably convince you. I took a lot of time to research your life before I came here, and I know just the secret that would ease your doubt in my story. It's not something that you'd like to be shared, though. although we both know how to get a lot of attention for it. Yes, you see now, don't you? I'm talking specifically to you. When you know exactly what someone will be listening to at this specific point in time, or they will be watching, what story their eyes will be drawn to, then isn't it difficult to leave a comment? They will definitely find it. You want to know why I picked you? That's understandable. In the future I lived in the place you call home now. Easy to break into, somewhere you've spent most of your life. The way your hair looks today particularly suits you, by the way. How do I know what it looks like on this exact day? That isn't something I could have found out in the future, right? Yes, you are quite right. Now walk over to the window and wave. I'm the tall man standing alone with a knife in his hand. I've been watching you listen to this for a while now, and I'm ready to come inside. I still have my key, so you don't need to worry about letting me in. See you soon.